Okay, we're back. Welcome to Smidgen. We are off to the races in our cooking segment for this episode. I'm back in the kitchen with Sarah.
Hello.
Love having Sarah on staff. She is game for anything.
Yes.
So thanks for coming back and cooking with me.
You're welcome.
We are in the Texas kitchen at Red Stick Spice Company here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we are cooking a very Instagrammable meal, or so they say out there in the world. So before we talk too much, we do need to get this in the oven. So we are making a completely plant-based, vegetable-forward sheetpan supper that's going to end up being a taco. So we've got different vegetables here that are going to go on sheet pans into the oven, but we absolutely can't put them all on sheet pans. I'll explain that in a second. First, what I want you to do is peel these carrots, and then you're going to cut them in the same way that we cut these earlier, into these sticks like this. And then I'm going to thinly slice this onion into half moons, and then work to get all of these on the sheet pan, going super traditional with a jalapeno olive oil and then our Taco Tuesday seasoning, which is the name of the seasoning. It's called Taco Tuesday, just like the day and the seasoning that you would use on that day, or any day, frankly. That's blended by a local blender here in Baton Rouge, and it's pretty delicious. Okay, so we've got some half moons of onion, and I also need some half moons of red onion. But I think it's interesting that this thing my mother did my whole life that I've been doing is suddenly this trendy term called sheetpan suppers.
Right.
So, but for sure, I'm all for it, especially if folks are cooking at home. If this is something,
I am definitely a fan of a sheet pan meal.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Instagram worthy. I guess I should be taking more pictures while I'm cooking.
Lots and lots of them out there, and some of them
I didn't know it was so on trend.
I don't quite believe, because I wonder, did you really cook all those things on that one sheet pan? I don't think you did.
Right, or does it just look pretty?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with you. From other episodes, folks may not remember, but you have a professional organizing business.
Yes, I sure do.
And I love having you in here at the store with me for cooking classes. And I'm curious what you think of what we're doing right here with this whole setup of everything ready to go before we even start cooking.
So
from an organization standpoint, are you digging it?
I am digging it because I love a good color coordination. So we've got all of our different vegetables kind of all looking pretty on the... Do
you arrange your clients' clothes by color?
If they let me.
Color.
If they let me, I try. But I even get to the point where, like bookshelves, things like that, my books are by color for sure.
I love it.
Sometimes a client will say, I don't need to do by color. I just want it by, type or whatever. But if they allow it, I do everything by color. I'm talking even canned goods in a pantry by color, just because it's so pretty to look at.
Yeah. So what we're doing, getting everything in its place, everything ready to go, is a culinary term called mise en place, which means everything in its place. And for some folks, it's a little counterintuitive. Like, it seems like we worked, and then we're going to work again cooking.
Right.
Why not just kind of do this on the fly?
As you go.
Or as you go.
Right.
And there's certainly going to be dishes that you can do that you just are just back pocket recipes that you know so well. You can definitely do that in some instances. But for cooks who maybe are starting out or perhaps aren't super confident, mise en place is definitely a great practice to set in place. So we've got everything that we're going to cook with already ready to go. We've got canned beans and frozen corn here. We're not scrambling to go find it in the pantry and then rinse it. It's all ready to go. So there's this big trend toward meal prep, which I think is awesome. And for me, this is meal prep. It's less about making casseroles and putting them in the freezer and more about getting the components to my meals for later in the week ready to go. So you have just completed a beautiful
Yes, this looks gorgeous. I'm seeing the whole rainbow here, and I'm loving it. We got the red peppers, the orange carrots, the yellow peppers, the purple onions. All we need is something blue, which is kind of really hard to do because all I can think of is blueberries. And I don't think that'll go good on the sheet pan.
Not a lot of blue food.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to start getting these on the sheet pan.
Okay, and you said we were separating the ingredients. So what are we putting with what?
to you, have you ever cooked carrots?
Yes.
They take a little minute.
Yeah, they take
right?
a little bit longer. Yeah, for sure. So those are going to go probably by themselves, correct?
The carrots are going to go by themselves, but we are going to load them up with some yellow onion. Because I do want some onion to caramelize alongside the carrots.
Definitely.
The carrots have a higher sugar content than other vegetables, so they are going to release some sugars and they're going to caramelize, which is all just amazing goodness that goes right along with onion. So we definitely want to get some onion on there with it. So exactly what you're doing, keep doing that. And then I'm going to, on the other sheet pan, and I'm going to do this number. This is what you see on Instagram. They start,
rainbow.
Yes.
I'm guilty. I've definitely done it before and thought I was, you know.
So that's...
Apparently I'm sort of an influencer with my sheet pan meals and my
there
rainbow,
you go.
My rainbow sheet pan.
So that's where the phone comes out when you start seeing these stripes of color on the
Love
pan.
it.
And we're also going to add some black beans and corn to this pan. What's going to happen with these black beans and corn is they're going to cook pretty much, you're kind of looking for cooking to smithereens a little bit, because I do want a little bit of crispiness on that corn and black beans. That's kind of fun to have on the taco. Okay, let's get some black beans on here.
And so we'll put the carrots in first, and what are we putting?
We're going to put it all
in.
You're going to be monitoring them,
okay,
and certainly pulling this sheet pan before we pull the sheet pan with the carrots. So let's get all this corn on here, but it cannot go in there just like this.
Okay.
So we need our jalapeno olive oil.
Yes.
So that's a great infused extra virgin olive oil that we sell here in the shop. I'm not a big fan of lots of spicy heat. It really gets to me.
Yeah.
We recently...
Am I putting this on this one
one as well. We recently had an incident where there was a pretty drastic measuring error. What was supposed to be a quarter teaspoon was a tablespoon.
It turned out delicious, I bet,
chili
right?
flakes.
Yeah,
and
it was so good. Everyone loved it.
I needed a moment, and everyone else thought it was the greatest thing. So, but our jalapeno olive oil, so it's what I would call mild heat, but you can taste, a jalapeno is a really flavorful chili.
Yeah.
That fruit, it's a fruit and tastes really, really good.
Right.
So without all that crazy heat, I love the flavor of a jalapeno, and that's what our oil does. Okay, Taco Tuesday blend going on everything, and we're going to be pretty generous with that. Let's get that moving around.
So what kind of spices are in the Taco Tuesday?
So
like cumin.
Your overriding spice in a Latin spice blend is going to be cumin, but you definitely want to taste some coriander as well. There's onion, garlic, oregano. So big difference between Greek oregano and Mexican oregano. And so we've got Mexican oregano in here, and she's got paprika. It's a local female chef named Tracy who blends this for us.
Oh, okay.
And
is that the singing chef, Tracy?
Yeah, she was our karaoke. She was here for karaoke cooking, and she
definitely got the party started.
Yeah, she opened up the night with "I Will Survive," and then we were off to the races for sure with karaoke cooking. Okay, let's get a little bit more on there, and then we will go in the oven with this, and then we're going to make a salsa to go with these tacos. So here we go into a blazing hot 450 degree oven. We're going to monitor these, but we're going to be within probably 12 minutes with this sheet pan, and probably closer to 20 with the carrots, but we'll just keep an eye on them, but definitely crank that heat up. No 350 degrees here. We want to go in a really hot oven, and we'll be eating tacos shortly.
All right.
So we are moving on to salsa. So this is a restaurant style salsa that I love how it comes together in the food processor here. And so this is just like we dump it all in and we turn the food processor on.
That sounds great to me.
And you just made salsa.
Right.
But this is definitely a very, not a chunky salsa at all. Super smooth and puree.
Yeah, I like that better.
It's makes a fairly large volume. We use one jalapeno, and we left the seeds and membranes in, so we're going to have a little bit of heat going on there. So let's get our tomatoes in.
Okay, and so we're using, these are whole tomatoes?
Those are whole canned tomatoes. So I'm not a big fan of processed food, but there are minimally processed foods that are really good, and canned tomatoes is one of them.
So it's canned tomatoes and then some diced tomatoes as well.
Correct. And then we've got an onion going in that's just rough chopped. Your cut chop doesn't really matter here. It's not important because we're food processing it. You get that jalapeno in. And we've got a nice big handful of cilantro. Are you team cilantro?
I am team cilantro. I hear that there's a lot of people that think it tastes like soap,
My husband.
which is very strange, but I
Yeah.
am team cilantro.
Yeah. He is having nothing to do with any cilantro.
Do you put stems in?
I could eat a cilantro salad.
Well, I don't know about all that,
Yeah.
but I do like
adore
all the
it.
cilantro.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
leave a few stems on?
I do.
I've kind of heard a few different things on that. Some people like to put a few stems in for extra flavor.
Oh, I could see that.
You could see
so I'm just lazy. So
Okay. You
I
just
I
break
left
it
the
off
stems on, and they're going to get pureed, so I'm not too concerned about
Well, that'll
it.
save me time because I usually sit there and pick all the leaves off when I'm
Right.
doing something with cilantro. So
It depends on how I'm using it. If it's a garnish and I want that whole leaf of cilantro, definitely, and I'm doing that Instagram-worthy photo,
right, exactly.
I'm a little more careful. But if it's a rough chop of something that gets sprinkled at the end, I leave the stems
Just leave
in.
some on.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then we need to get some cumin in here. We're gonna read our recipe today because of
Okay.
that whole tablespoon of chili flakes.
Yeah. So yeah, let's make sure that we put in the right amount of cumin.
We've got a
It
quarter,
says a fourth of a teaspoon,
quarter
not
teaspoon,
a tablespoon.
correct? Quarter
Not a
teaspoon
tablespoon.
cumin. We need some salt in here, so we've got a quarter teaspoon of salt.
But it was a
And
beautiful
then-
mistake. So
Yeah, yeah.
came out
And
good.
then let's get some lime juice in there. So that's half of a whole lime.
And I know how to squeeze it in
There you go.
in the thing now. Here we go.
And then we put the lid on and we zhuzh. I made that culinary term up. We just made salsa,
That was so easy,
right?
Why
And makes
rabbis? a
ton of it. So definitely can feed a crowd.
yeah, that looks good.
So let's taste.
Right.
See if we need more salt. I'm going to zhuzh it a little bit longer. We've got some big chunks in here, but we can at least taste at this point.
Might need a little more salt.
You want some salt? Okay.
Just a little bit more.
Mm.
What do you think?
That tiny bit of heat, love that.
Yeah, I'm into it.
All right. Okay.
Here we go. Very good. I like
Yeah.
it.
So super yummy right now.
Mm-hmm.
The longer something like this sits, the better it gets.
Right,
So,
it'll kind of have some time to like soak up.
yeah,
all those
or as
other
my grandmother
things.
would say, everything needs to get married.
Ah.
So all of this is going to improve, and things that might seem sharp are going to mellow,
Mhm.
and then, but absolutely servable right
Yes,
now.
Definitely.
So let's see how we're doing with our vegetables. See if we're getting some nice GBD, golden brown and delicious on
Yes.
these vegetables. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So we're starting to caramelize around the edges. I can smell those bell peppers. Do you like bell peppers?
Yeah, I love bell peppers.
So they're not my favorite raw.
Oh really?
But a cooked bell pepper,
My grandmother used to make stuffed bell peppers a lot.
yeah. Did you eat the bell pepper, or did you just?
I
eat
would
the
usually
stuffing?
just eat the stuffing out, but as an adult now, I think I would have gone for the bell pepper.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
so
into it now.
I loved the cooked bell pepper when my
Yes.
mom would make stuffed bell peppers. Yeah, I love the smell of a cooked bell pepper. These
Mhm.
onions are starting to caramelize. I smell the sweetness from the corn. It's got a little ways to go, but we're definitely getting there.
Yeah, and I'm loving the smell of that taco seasoning.
Yeah.
too. It's getting me excited for Taco Tuesday.
We're back. You ready to eat a taco?
I'm ready. It smells so good.
Okay, so I'm going to pull the sheet pans from the oven,
Okay.
and I'm going to get you to combine them. So at this point, once they're cooked, you can combine them, put them out on the buffet for your family. You were saying you would do this for a group of friends.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I do family dinner night with a group of friends every week, and I think this is something that they
Oh, I
would
love that.
We have
I
friends
love
that are
that.
vegetarians, so
Yeah.
sometimes it's kind of hard to find things to cook, but
This is
they would love this.
perfect.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So what else could you add to the carrot sheet pan?
Like, what else would I add?
Yeah, that would be that
Um,
same sort of long cooking.
Yeah, I would say maybe some sweet potatoes or
Yep.
something like that.
Butternut squash.
Oh yeah, butternut
Yeah.
squash for
Or
sure.
a tradition, or just a potato.
Right,
Like a
right.
new potato.
Mhm.
And
I
then
love sweet potatoes, so
Yeah.
I would probably do some sweet potatoes.
look at
but-
these. They
Yeah,
are
that looks
gorgeous.
so good.
So these carrots are brown. They're starting to curl. We cut them small because we want them to be
Right.
an easy bite in that taco, but also not be a diced carrot that's going to roll out.
Right, you
of
want
the
something
taco.
that's going to kind of stay in there.
So if you think of like a strip of fajitas, it's the same sort of thinking with the vegetable to have it
Have it that size.
that shape. So we use tricolor carrots. We have orange, yellow, purple carrots, and they roasted up beautifully. And you can barely discern the onion at this point. It's so roasted and crispy.
Yeah,
and
I kind of forgot that we put onions on there.
magical.
So looks like the yellow carrots.
Yeah, and our other sheet pan with our bell pepper, black beans, and corn all caramelized nicely. We did tricolor bell peppers, so we've got all the colors on here. They're all starting to crisp up on the edges and start to curl. The black beans all burst, and they're crispy little nuggets of deliciousness on here. Mm-hmm. So we can combine these two sheet pans just for ease of serving. So you can add those and then mix them all together while I get our salsa poured in a bowl.
I can see why somebody would want to make this as an Instagram kind of thing because of all the colors.
No, it's absolutely
fine. It's fine.
So that's all ready to go. We've got tortillas. For low or no carb folks, you could do lettuce wraps.
Oh, yeah.
I also make a pan of this and have it at the ready for salads during the week. So I'll do a bed of greens and then pile this on top.
Would you do any kind of dressing?
I do the salsa. I do the
so
salsa as the dressing.
I love it.
So let's grab our tortillas that I've been warming. All right, so those are ready to go. They look gorgeous. And then I've got our tortillas.
I'm ready to make some tacos.
All right, so we've got flour tortillas. We've got salsa. Oh, I always spritz a little bit of lime on there.
Okay.
And then
some
you did that beautiful cilantro, very
yes.
Insta-worthy.
Yes, you gotta have a garnish.
This right here is a gorgeous photo, but I say we dig it.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so there's your plate. Let me get this out of the way for you. Safety first, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, now let's dig into some tacos.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, can I have a little?
No, it's all for me. I need to get some of those beans on there. I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And
this should be called the rainbow taco.
Yep. Some salsa on there, and a little spritz of lime, and then these are pretty big tacos you loaded up, Sarah. So
yeah,
I think
sorry about that.
Our manners are about to go out the window.
Yeah,
as we bite into
it's
these.
gonna just
Let's see how we did.
Maybe I was thinking more of a burrito, but sorry. Is it good?
It's so good.
I'm still garnishing. I want to have a pretty Instagram picture. All right, let's go for it.
I love this because I am a carnivore, but I don't. This is not me missing meat at all. Like this meal is 100% satisfying. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's so good. Great
Awesome job.
Thank you. Thanks for being in the kitchen with me.
Anytime.
Thanks, everybody.